I'm just going to dive right in with a controversial take. Genshin Impact is the most important game released in 2020. Let me explain why. In its first week of release, the game was downloaded over 23 million times, with initial revenue estimates of $250 million in its first month. This comes from a developer who was relatively obscure before the release, at least in Western markets, now helming one of the biggest games of the year. This game has been shrouded in controversy since before it even released. First, its overt aesthetic and visuals blurring the line between stolen and inspiration from Breath of the Wild. There were also rumors of spyware and central government censorship, and of course, its gambling-style gacha mechanics. Now, these are all worthy topics of needed discussion, and there's been much of that since the game was released, but I want to focus on what I think is the most fascinating element of Genshin Impact, and the element that will change and define the gaming landscape in the next decade. It's free. Now, obviously, free games aren't new, and in the past decade, they've been easily accessible to billions of people. Basically, since the inception of the iOS store, free games have existed. As developers explored different methods of monetization, the free-to-play model evolved, and we became familiar with microtransactions, uncapped spending, gacha mechanics, and so much more. In my opinion, this led to a steep decline in gameplay, as free-to-play developers worked hard to paywall the best and most interesting parts of a game. If you grew up in the generation before mobile gaming, these apps had little to offer. For years, mobile gaming was largely ignored by the core gaming community. But over the past few years, things have changed. Free-to-play has come to consoles and PCs in a huge way, and acceptance of the model has slowly crept into the gaming zeitgeist. But one game in particular stands out as the tectonic shift: Fortnite. The story of a multiplayer survival game failing at launch and then transitioning to a battle royale and becoming one of the most valuable IPs on the planet is the stuff of legend. Love it or hate it, Fortnite is one of the biggest games of all time. However, it didn't start as a mobile game, but it did eventually migrate to all platforms. Fortnite was entirely free to play, and through microtransactions and sales of cosmetics, Fortnite has made billions. In 2019 alone, the game had a revenue of over $1.8 billion. It was simply too big to be ignored. Developers who had never released a free-to-play game started to chase those microtransaction dollars. But why does Genshin Impact represent an equally significant turning point? Simply put, we've never seen anything like it before. Genshin Impact represents an evolution in everything up to this point. There are three distinct reasons why the game is unique despite all that's come before it. First, Genshin Impact is primarily a single-player game. Unlike Fortnite's Battle Royale, which was only available as a multiplayer experience, Genshin Impact can be enjoyed entirely on your own. Now, there have been many single-player free-to-play games made before, but what makes Genshin Impact unique is its genre and style. Single-player free-to-play games have often been puzzle games or arcade-type games. Genshin Impact is an adventure-action RPG. The second feature is that Genshin Impact is massive in scale and scope. In its single-player content alone, the first release of the game offers players over 50 hours of exploring, combat, and adventure, all without paying a dime. The comparisons to Breath of the Wild are apt, as this game was designed to rival a single-player experience on that level. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if a game like this has ever been offered before. That leads me to my third point: quality. That's the thing that keeps catching everyone off guard, and the refrain I hear over and over again. Reviewers are taken aback at the quality of this game. We've been conditioned to believe that free-to-play means lesser quality in gameplay, and in the vast majority of examples, it's true. But Genshin bucks the trend, and I think it could change everything. As we step into a new generation, the price of massive single-player experiences is going up. Americans are expected to pay $70, and that's before purchasing DLC and the inevitable microtransactions that plague even AAA games. Please don't confuse what I'm saying here. Genshin Impact is not an altruistic gift to global gamers. Miyoho's goal is to squeeze every last penny out of players that they can. My question though is that when AAA Western developers do the same thing, what's the difference? The difference is that you paid $70. The quality was what justified that $70 price tag. Free-to-play could never live up to that. But what if it can? I'm not saying this is what I think should happen. I'm just reading the tea leaves and predicting what I think will happen. There will always be a space for big budget games that have an upfront cost. There will always be a contingency of gamers who want to pay for the full experience and avoid the nickel and diming that's plagued the industry. But that space is shrinking. That group is in decline. And Genshin Impact has the potential to become the new normal. Maybe not tomorrow or next year, but the Genshin Impact motto will become the future of gaming. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my channel. If you liked this video, or even if you didn't like this video, you can like, subscribe, comment, all those kind of things. I try to respond to all the comments right now, and let me know if there's a topic that you want me to discuss. And thank you for watching. Have a great day.